we'll have this discussion.
Discussion? What discussion?
This is a discussion.
Combustion.
Coming to you from Denver, Colorado, this is Discussion Combustion Podcast with your hosts, Kevin Batstone and Arthur Rawe.
Welcome back, good friends and family, and thanks for joining us again. Happy summer solstice. It's the first day of summer yesterday. You know, we're in the summer season now. It's my favorite season. I love the warm
summer season. I love all the S's you're using right now.
It's the summer season, man. Things are getting warm.
It's sunny.
It's sunny. It's heating up.
It's sweltering.
It's my favorite time of year. And you know what? What a great way to enjoy this time of year with a great company called Wild Outdoor Adventures. See it right there at the bottom of the screen, WOAMEET.com.
Wild Outdoor Adventures is a Colorado company, so if you're interested in the state, you're passing by, if you're a veteran, if you're interested in Hope for Teens, or you're an entrepreneur, this website is a great place to open up a lot of different conversations and friendships, and honestly, it's a place to build all that stuff. But one of the goals that they do here as well is actually getting you outside with people with similar interests and enjoying the beautiful state of the Rocky Mountain High.
You know, I'm ready to get out and do some camping. I was fortunate to get outdoors a little bit last summer, but there's just more availability this year. More things are open. There's zip lining. There's whitewater rafting. You know, there's overnight trips coming up. So what you're going to do is go to WOAMEET.com, create a free account, and browse what's going on. See what works for you. You know, there's a lot of different programs out there, like Art mentioned. Hope for Teens, Hope for Veterans, Hope for Singles. You know, maybe you don't have a lot of equipment. They can help you find the right equipment. Join their blogs. Discuss with others what you think is the best trail. Teach people something. Learn along the way. It's a great way to do it.
Yep. Free to sign up, easy to use website, and you already know that is less streaming and more exploring.
And today's episode is also brought to you by Made CBD, and that's going to be mountainmadecbd.com.
Mountain Made is definitely the company you want to check out if you're interested in seeing top-notch CBD products. They don't skimp on the ingredients, and they definitely don't skip on how their drive is, their mission statement, why they're in the industry and why they do the things that they do. Mountain Made is a company for active people that want to use the CBD product to help with, you know, alleviation of pain, inflammation, stress. I mean, it helps boost my day. I mean, they actually have products called Boost with electrolytes in it. So whatever part of your day, they have a product that's tailor-made for you.
That's what it is, man. And it's been really fun, you know, having them as a part of this program and enlightening some of our listeners that I interact with on a daily basis. Turn a few new listeners onto the product using the promo code DCPC to save 20% off your entire order from this site. And there's just great feedback. You know, people that are a little bit like, I've never tried CBD. They give this thing a go and they're ready to rip tater chip. Makes them feel great. Get a little sleep. Alleviate pain in the knees. Maybe you have anxiety. Maybe you got a little bit of stomach issues. This CBD will definitely ease all these.
Absolutely. And it's a Colorado company with a nationwide reach. So if you're a dispensary or a store that can support CBD products, definitely check them out, mountainmadecbd.com. And that is #GoLikeHell.
Go like hell, baby. And let's jump into this thing, man. We had Paul Caroli on the books for tonight. He's a busy man down there at CityCast Denver. You know, so Paul couldn't be with us tonight.
But he reached out like a pro.
He did.
He reached out like a pro. He let us know what was going on. Already got him locked in for the reschedule.
Yeah, Paul's going to be with us on the 21st of July, it looks like. So, Paul Caroli, we're excited. You know, we pumped him up to be in this week. You know, things happen, guys, especially in the production business. Paul's a busy guy doing Denver radio. CityCast Denver's going to be a lot of fun to dive into, but that was what was on the books, and now it's going to be a solo, which we haven't done one of these in a while, man.
I love the solo episodes. They're a lot of fun for me. You know, it's such a pleasure getting to know people and having people in studio and on Zoom calls and getting to know everybody else, but there's just something about sitting in here with an old-time, long-term friend / business partner, you know, because Kevin and I, we do a lot of bantering. We banter during the week. We banter during podcast days, you know, and bantering is a lot of fun for us. So it's like a pastime that you get excited about, you know. Maybe you like playing golden tee. You like slamming that ball downfield. Maybe something you're into is racing. You like turning those wheels. I don't know. But I like it when two silver-tongued devils get together and hit some rhetoric.
I mean, it's always fun being in here with you. You know, I love being able to do this cast and collaborate with great people. But you're right. After doing 107 of these, man, we kind of banter a little bit here and there.
Yeah. And I'm just being silly. I was giving us a hype-up intro. You know?
That was a good intro, though, I thought.
Yeah, it's a great night. And the main thing, though, is that the energy is right because, life is going to test us every single day, every single week, and I'm prepared for that test. I don't know what the questions are going to be though, but I'm prepared. I feel like I can get the answer, and so that's kind of like what we deal with. Today was a good day, but there has been weeks when coming in on Wednesday, it's a hard work day, and like I'm like, oh, I got to go do my second job now, and you gotta kind of pull yourself up a little bit.
It's tough to maintain and distribute the focus and your well-being with it all, because stress is a huge thing, man. I deal with it on a day-to-day. I'm sure you do too. We got to be so many places at different times. We have our 9-to-5s just like everybody else does. Maybe you got kids at the house that you're worried about. You run around, you got to pick them up from school. That constant stress that you got to be X, Y, and Z really eats away, because it's constantly in your mind. When you have all this to do and you're just running, the days just fly by. Sometimes it's tough to slow down and smell the roses, but that's what's great about driving here. Even in sitting in I-25 traffic, it takes me a while to get here. It's a nice breath of fresh air, after the 9-to-5.
Absolutely. So I don't know about everybody else out there, but it's been getting hotter here in Colorado, and I'm like a 75 to 85 degree type of guy. And I've been dealing with some of these sweltering heat days.
I love it.
And I've noticed that I am a little bit grumpier on some of the hotter days.
See, that's how I feel on the colder days.
Really?
Yeah, when it's 5-10 degrees here in Denver, man, I don't like it. I can't get warm. Everything is slippery. My car door is frozen. The heater doesn't work. By the time my car heats up, I'm at work. What is that? And here's the thing.
It's because you have a 3-minute drive, Kevin.
It's more like 7, but
no, it's not 7 minutes.
It is from my new location.
Oh, okay.
I moved.
I keep forgetting that you moved because I've never seen your new place. But hey, I told Susie I was going to do this. Shout out to Susie Shirley in Parker, giving fresh haircuts. Kevin and I both go there, and what made me think about that is when I'm driving home from those haircut appointments, I drive by your place and I always wave at you.
Yeah, shout out Susie for sure, because low-key behind the scenes, Susie's been cutting my hair for like 4 years now, and she's done a great job promoting our show. Every time we go in there in Parker, Colorado, she's got the big Discussion Combustion logo up in there. Great friend, great person. Yeah, if you need a good cut and you're in the Colorado area, hey, free plug, Susie Shirley, hook it up, look her up. Definitely doesn't disappoint. Look at that hair art. You look great.
Yeah, I got this done Saturday. What was it, like 7 months ago? Mid-quarantine, I'm all like, all right, so I'm doing this haircut myself.
Looked horrible.
No, remember I kept...
Yeah.
No, but it did look all right, but then it didn't look so good.
It was doable.
It was doable.
And then you got angry at me after the episode one time. You're like, well, how come you didn't tell me that my hair looked bad? Because I'm not looking at it that way.
No, my hair looked good, but I had a flick of hair. Which side was it on? It was on one of the sides. And it annoyed me. And I've hooked up Kevin so many times before we hop on air. I'm not going to describe all the things that I'm like, bro, you got to fix this. You got to tighten that up.
That's the difference between Arthur and I.
Maybe you got to.
What?
I don't know.
Are you going to rip my drip? What? What's up?
No, I'm not ripping your drip. Smith & Wiss.
I got the Smith & Wiss hitter. I'll tell you this. Before we went on air, Art was putting pomade in his hair.
Does it look like I have product in my hair? Can you tell? That's why the pomade is nice. Like it just, I didn't even put that much in to where it's like thick. I just did enough to where it's like a slight hold. If I could consistently do it, I would do the Superman curl, just because I think that kind of looks cool.
I feel like it's a lot of work. Hair maintenance in general can be a lot of work, right?
Well, you do gel in your hair, so let's not forget that you use product.
I do use product, but let me explain to you why. Because you have that thick hair. Your hair's a little bit thicker. I got them fine wine hairs, bro. Like
fine wine hairs.
Susie will tell you.
Is that a saying?
I don't know. I just made it up.
Who told you that?
Susie did. She cuts the shit.
She didn't tell you that.
I'll tell you this. It takes a lot of product to hold it in place. Mm-hmm. It's what it does. So sometimes I wear a hat, because I'm gonna go see Susie on Saturday.
It doesn't look that bad though. How many weeks is that?
It's like 3.5.
Yeah. See, I'm like a once a monther type of guy too. Like, it's just. You got to give it time to grow in. It looks so nice when it's freshly done. So what I end up doing like halfway through, because Yeti style is what I would describe my hair growth. And so like that neck, I have my girl line that up like once halfway through, so then my neck's all hairy.
The thing is though, is if you're getting consistent cuts, like I go every 3 to 4 weeks. You don't need to do intermittent maintenance.
No, but after like a week and a half, I need to clean up my neck.
You are a gorilla, though. We were talking about that about the fountains.
Yeah. So when I was younger, I was always, I mean, my dad, I love him. You know, he's a great man to look up to. And happy post Father's Day, all the fathers out there.
Oh, yeah.
I
We should open with that.
had a great Father's Day. Hung out with my dad. We did lunch. We did tuna salad. It was delicious. Got him a very unique bottle of tequila that is 5 years old, aged in a whiskey bottle. So it's a brown tequila.
Is your dad a drinker?
He enjoys some beverages.
Yeah,
Responsibly. Yeah. And so I hooked him up with that, a nice card. You know, with everybody that listens, they know where my priorities were messed up for years and years and years. So this is like one of the first times I've been able to do that for my dad, like feeling right.
Yeah.
And it was good. It meant a lot to him. Rest my soul. I might get a little choked up on that, but no, it was really good. And the point of that though is that growing up, my pops, you know, silverback gorilla. He has the hairs on the upper back and everywhere. I didn't have them for a long, long time, but now that I'm hitting my mid-30s, I'm feeling them sprout. They're healthy, and I don't think I'm going to be willing to shave my back. Like, I just...
Too much maintenance.
Yeah, and how do you do it? You need to have somebody to do it. Like,
Yeah, it's
like you can't do it by yourself. Like, how do you buzz your back?
either you know own it and accept that I'm just a hairy motherfucker.
Yeah, that's
or
what I'm going to do.
You do maintenance, which I don't really feel like doing. But yeah, you're right. Echoing off Father's Day, I thought my dad was at the Rockies game. You know, so I didn't do much for Dad this year. You know, I sent him my usual Happy Father's Day stuff or whatever. But you know, him and I talk quite a bit, and he's probably tuning in now. So Happy Father's Day, Dad, once again. And yeah, my dad's pretty hairy. So the older I've gotten at 32 now, you know.
Is he hairier than you?
Yeah, Dad's pretty hairy. He's pretty hairy. He's got them sprouts, you know, them shoulder sprouts. I'm starting to get some of those too, though. You know, Brandy will point them out. She'll be like, we gotta do some maintenance down there. You know, we got ear hairs. I mean, they start coming out everywhere.
Okay. So the ear hair thing is actually a huge pet peeve of mine. And I'm going to banter about this for 3 to 5, you know, we'll see how long it lasts. So
Welcome to a solo.
This started happening probably 2 years ago. I started, like, my ears would just, these hairs would just be blowing in the breeze in my ears, and it's so itchy. And so I always want to itch them so bad. And it's like, and then, like, I would accidentally itch so bad that I would end up with this scab in the inside of my ear. Because you end up cutting it. Like, if you're not trimming your fingernails properly, like, everybody tells you not to put stuff in your ears anyway, okay? They tell you that. But I do. And so, like, that stuff would happen, and then your ears are constantly itching. And so the fact of the matter is that I'm not waxing my ears. Like, I don't know of a place to go to. I don't trust myself to do that. You know, is that expensive? I don't know. So what I've been doing is I've just started plucking the ear hairs.
Like tweezing it?
Yeah, tweezing it. And you can do it very precisely with the tweezers where you don't hurt yourself at all. You do it very nice, and you can feel where the ears are. And I did that today because it was like 2 weeks. It's like 2 weeks, and then the hairs grow back, and they're ferociously strong, well-rooted. You can't pull them out with your fingernails. No, of course not. So then you have to go in there with the tweezers. And I'm telling you, since I got those hairs removed today, I haven't had one draft itch in my ear since. And why do we have the hairs that grow in our ears? Like, I went 30 years without it. So that was a soft spot for me. I had to banter. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing your ear hair experiences, Arthur. It reminds me of a story I was going to tell on this cast one time, but I never did.
Oh, juicy.
And it was back, like maybe 2 months ago. I was like getting really dizzy, you know. I was feeling a little bit off kilter, probably a little bit of combination alcohol, no sleep. You know, that's what I chalked it up to. I said, man, I'm gonna go into the doc and get this checked out. So I went up there, and they looked at my ear, and they said, man, this thing is completely packed. I mean, it's completely packed. Mm-hmm. We need to dig this shit out. So they started squirting all this. I mean, it was horrible. The experience was not pleasant. The aftermath was great, but them squirting that in there, right in your ear, and they're digging away, and I was like, yeah.
What were they digging with, like little shovels?
I don't know, but it felt like they were
little metal shovels.
Yeah, it was like like an ice pick or something. I'm not sure what was going in there. But they pulled out, I mean, what looked like a goddamn almond out of both ears.
Out of both ears?
Both ears, big old almond came out of there, man. I'm telling you what. And
now, are you a regular Q-tipper?
No, I don't use Q-tips because that's what they told me. The doctor says, don't put that shit in there. All that does is compact it more in there. You know, You're supposed to flush them out naturally with mineral oil and stuff like that. Ear candles, I've heard mixed results on.
I've done ear candles once, and it was you could hear your earwax start to bubble, and you could hear it coming out, and it got a lot out. But what about just in the shower? That's what I normally do.
Let the hot water hit.
Is I'll lean the head and let it.
The problem with that is you risk the swimmer's ear, and there's nothing that irritates me more than swimmer's ear.
But it's temporary.
Is it though? Sometimes it can be long term, and it can lead to bigger issues.
What? Where you get water and it kind of
when it goes under the eardrum. We all know that thing where you can hear it. Like when you take a step,
Yeah.
it's like dong, it vibrates in your ear because your eardrum is compacted with water. It's not supposed to be in there.
yeah.
Swimmer's ear. You used to get a lot.
I mean, I've gotten water in my ear, but it's always come out, so I don't know if I've ever had swimmer's ear.
It's not pleasant because then what happens is if it doesn't come out in due time, and there's you can put rubbing alcohol up to it or something like on a Q-tip, and that's supposed to help draw it out. But if swimmer's ear persists, man, it can get infected. You're dealing with all that stuff. The ears are a complicated thing.
Well, yeah, the whole equilibrium goes through there. I mean, I've done enough education. I've almost said schooling. I've done enough schooling. I've had enough education to where I know some biology and stuff. And it is interesting how delicate the human body is. How many different organs and neurotransmissions are happening. Even now, as Kevin and I talk, listeners listening in, all the there's billions of synapses happening between all of our brains, individually, to process, reply, have emotion with. And that's just the brain. And then you put everything else in there. The human body is a symphony of events. And so that's in one area. I'm going to tread lightly on this. I'm not religious, but I am grateful, and I do believe in energies. And I feel like being birthed as a human being on this planet, they got the number statistic out there. It's very slim that we're going to be born as a human, but we happen to be born as, the top of the food chain on this planet and conscious. And that's one of the biggest things is we are conscious of ourselves. And are other animals maybe on this planet? I believe some could be, but to the same depth of knowledge and engineering skill and everything that we're able to accomplish. And I mean, that's the stoner in me, just being thankful for what I have because of what we are. And when you're having a bad day, if you could bring it back to that, bring it back to the basics, it's a good place to start, because then you could start building yourself up, because you're lucky to even be alive, even with your problems. You have a life.
And it's a difficult thing to do. It really is, especially in the moment. It's all well and good to know that information, and to accept it and practice it. But then we have one of those off days. I kind of had one of those today. I was hot. I was running around. Things were just piling on. Time crunched. And sometimes I can let that get the best of me. That's where some of my anger issues start to come out. And it's in those moments where it's I think one thing I've gotten better at in my older age and understanding of it, because being aware of it is the biggest thing. That's what I've learned, through therapy and just through life. When you can be aware of the situation, that's step one. Now it's what are we going to do? That'll come to you in due time, so to speak. How are we going to react? So even now what I've gotten better at is when I do have one of those episodes, it doesn't drag out as long as it once did. I would let that ruin the whole day. I'd let that ruin everybody else's energy. Whereas now I can recognize, okay, I've had a moment. Let me go take 5. Let me go take a swig of beer or have a water or something, cool off, and then readdress the situation. It's making those little advancements towards that, because you're right. No matter what, it always comes back to the human body's amazing. And we're in control of everything we do. We can control the energy, but we are faced with so many things on a daily basis that is tough to process. So many things coming at us.
Well, and it's difficult to not react to some things. And only in a true, being true to yourself and really fighting yourself, because that's where I feel like the battle is, and that's in a lot of, motivational stuff as well. But for me personally, fighting myself, fighting the thought of wanting to do something that I don't want to do anymore, fighting that, failing at that, and that whole struggle that took, I'm still in it actually. So it's forever ongoing. We're always going to have to fight ourselves. And I feel like as long as you're willing to be honest with yourself and you're willing to be critical with yourself and be honest about what you actually want to obtain, then you're just going to react to things. And to react to life with all the problems that are thrown at us, like we're saying, that is not going to lead to like a happy existence, because until you actually buckle down and try to do something in your own best interest, then you're going to feel like you're getting played your whole life. So there's an importance to, selfishness. There's an importance to that, and I know the word selfishness is probably negative in overall meaning and all that, but let me change the word. Self-care is important, to have self-care. Let's take selfishness out of there. That's a negative word. Let's not even put that in there. We're using self-care for ourselves. And from self-care and fighting ourselves to do the right thing, because we all want to be lazy. I want to sleep in. Like, I've been thinking in my head for weeks of waking up at 6 and working out, and I haven't done it yet. I've been losing that fight with myself every day for weeks. And I know that. And so it's kind of starting to get to me a little bit. But just the whole point of that is it's interesting to think about, talking about, how life throws all this stuff at you. But if you're resilient with yourself, reaction is less.
Yeah. And again, it's important to be realistic with it, because there's some people that are better at it than others. It just comes a little, maybe just, not that they're better at it, it maybe comes a little bit more naturally, and they don't have to fight quite as hard. Maybe they don't have to take quite as many swings at it. For a guy like me, I try to put my mind to something and stick to it. We do the sober challenges, we do stuff like that. When I can commit to something that holds my feet to the fire a little bit, I feel like I'm better in those scenarios. Being self-motivated for things that I want to do. I have a more difficult time doing it for somebody else's benefit, i.e. working on somebody else's watch, stuff like that, right? But everybody's got their own road to walk and different challenges to overcome. And it's your choice of what we do in this life and what we want out of this life. It's our choice. It's nobody else's. Sure, we can be influenced. We can meet people that might see something in us, that can change the path or maybe introduce a new opportunity and things like that. But it's ultimately up to us. What do we want out of this life? Yeah, because anything less than that is you're just settling.
Yeah, and are you going to die happy if you settle? And that's the thing, is like, time is fleeting. It's of the essence, So I do my best to enjoy every single day the most that I can. And my girlfriend could definitely attest to the fact that I do have a short patience span with some things. Like, especially when I'm getting hit with a bunch of tasks that are all super urgent and all require 5 to 10 minutes of work to like really see it through. And it's like, okay, I'm being weak in this moment. Like, I'm reacting to the amount of work that I have on me. I'm reacting to the amount of pressure that's on me, and I'm not handling it well. And it's that thought of awareness of self-thought. It's like such an inception. But sometimes that'll pull me out of it and be like, you know what? I'm kind of being a douchebag right now. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm kind of just being a big baby right now. Why am I crying about my problems? Let's just handle this shit. Let's get it done, and let's do it right.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just need to tell yourself that turnaround.
And it takes time. It really does. I mean, I still, like I just said, my biggest struggle is, after a long, hard day coming in, and then just carrying that. There's that unwind period that a lot of people are good at doing. Maybe that's the drive home. Maybe that's listening to some tunes. Maybe that's cracking a beer. Whatever that period is, during that period where I haven't quite unwound yet, I'm extremely on edge. Mm-hmm. It happens a lot.
You were a little on edge on the phone call we were having prior to getting here to the studio. Kevin was like, he had like a little bit of, but I'm a safe place, so he could let it out here. And I was telling John X, and he was teasing me on it, but I am an Ebenezer teaser, and I always put it out there. I always like to talk a little shit and blah blah blah, but it's only because I love you, so I expect it back.
Oh yeah, you definitely you like to poke the bear a little bit when I'm in those modes, but that's good because it helps me do it a little bit. But that's an area that I'm aware of. It's an area I've always tried to improve in, and it's something that a lot of people like. It'll change the energy in a room. It has the power to do that. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to walk in the room and be that guy like, what the fuck's this dude's problem? Not fair to my girlfriend to come home to that. Not fair to anyone.
Yeah.
So it's that unwind period that I'm still trying to navigate in life, because once I'm calm and I'm cool and collected again, I feel like I'm in a better place. I come here to the studio, have a couple of beers, I can get dialed in a little bit. But man, the hustle bustle of life, tile that back in. A lot of people out there grinding. There's so much pressure on everybody. Going back to work, unemployment's running out. You got to find a job. You got mouths to feed. There's a lot of stress and tension out there. And it's difficult, man. It's difficult. I feel those struggles. It can be overwhelming. It can be very overwhelming.
To have empathy, but to also be sure of yourself. Sometimes I feel like it's a fine line that you have to walk because, you build confidence through self-affirmation and you build realization through that as well of who you are. And sometimes it could come off like, well, this is how I see it. And, if that's not how the other person sees it, then so be it. And many times in the last 10 years with a bunch of different people, even you and I probably before have, just the whole, all right, well, let's agree to disagree and just, be mature and move forward. Because, if you're sure about yourself, you don't need to bend the knee. Like, I'm not willing to bend my knee to things that don't fit my needs. And that may sound selfish or that may sound like, self-care. I have my own needs. It took me a long time to realize those. I respect my needs, and I'm going to fight for them. Like that's where I'm at with life. And it's an interesting journey that life is right now. It's really fun.
It is, man, and we got to enjoy those finer moments. Again, it is something that comes in due time. When I was young, I always hated. One of the biggest things that would upset me was, oh, you'll figure it out. Wait till you get older. Wait till this happens. Wait till you're that age. Things start to change. I never liked hearing that because I always felt like, are you disregarding what I'm going through now? What does all that really mean? But to put that on perspective, I still can go half and half on that because no matter what age you are, you can go out there and own it at any moment.
Yeah.
You are what you are in this world. Go get it. Go make it. But in due time, there's certain things you'll learn. And at 32 years old, I've learned a lot, man. I've learned to pick and choose the battles a little bit. And I think going back to what you were saying about, having a disagreement, let's agree to disagree, that's a big one because disagreements can change the entire energy and direction of a conversation in a room. Mm-hmm. If two people are just not going to agree on something, sometimes things get thrown, sometimes people exit the building and slam doors. You never know where that's going to go. So, the older you get, you realize, okay, we're not going to see eye to eye on this. Let's put this to bed. I respect you. I respect your opinion and move on. And that's a healthy way to have a debate. Because if it comes down to a fact, you're not going to be friends anymore because you have a different opinion or something like that. We've seen that with friends of ours. We've seen that It happens every day, especially over this political bullshit we've seen over the last couple of years. That type of stuff is just unnecessary.
Yeah.
Does that really dictate somebody's character? Does it override the times that they've helped you in financial woes or whatever the case may be? Put a roof over your head when you needed it. That's the stuff that speaks more volume to than, oh, well, I have this opinion and you don't agree with it, so I don't want to be friends with you anymore. What is that?
Yeah. That is being a big baby. And what we want to do is not be babies in life, okay? Accountability, responsibility, words. Think about them. Use them in your head. Become stronger. No, but I was just having fun there. But one thing that that's all relevant. I'm gonna kind of bring it back a little bit because the energies, right? No matter who you are, no matter what you're doing in the day, you're gonna have an energy, and when you enter a room, it's gonna be felt. Whether people pick up on it or not, maybe people aren't aware of. That sort of stuff, or maybe we all are, because that's like the sixth sense. I think everyone is aware of stuff like that. That's the sixth sense. So the more conscious you are of like who you are, how you present yourself, the words you use, the posture you hold, you're going to affect rooms. And if you're in a low place, like where you're trying to build yourself up, in my teen years, I was super insecure. Like I didn't lose my V card until I was 19. Like I had plenty of opportunities, but I was always so in my own head that like I made it awkward, and that was a struggle of mine for a very long time. And it was trying to adapt that and like overcome that because, that is me and I'm insecure and I'm being insecure and like that's what I'm seeing and feeling and, that's who I was. And so to try to break that, you have to like look at things in a different way. We all have an energy and we do affect the room, whether we're aware of it or not. And so the more aware of it that you are on a daily basis, then the bigger impact you can make on that room because you're doing it consciously. So no longer are you the awkward kid sitting in the corner thinking that you're being awkward because you are being awkward and yada yada, you're all in your own head. Or are you going to be the person that is like, I'm me and I'm good with who I am. And it's like it takes time though, and it takes strength and years. You can't just expect affirmations to work overnight.
Sure. Because everybody responds differently to it. Everybody has a different way that they process it and a different way they carry it, even going back to the teenage years. Mm-hmm. When I was young, and I've told this story a few times, I had a very attractive girlfriend at a young age. I wasn't able to handle that real well mentally. I still wasn't understanding what was going on in my life, dealing with those kind of adolescent issues, that I had to work through. But one of the ways that I always got through it was being a class clown and doing stupid shit. A lot of my old high school buddies can attest to that. They always thought, oh, Batstone will do that. He's fucking rowdy.
Yeah.
He's going to do it. And I did stupid shit, dude. I'll tell you this. I don't know if I've ever told this story. I got suspended from high school my sophomore year. And I won't say his last name, but I'm not going to say any names. But there was a guy that did it with me. And we streaked, not completely naked, but we ran across the high school football game. Ran across right in the middle of the fucking game. Now, granted, we waited till the end of play because I remember like giving a shout out to to my team, like let's go get him. We were running down. We got suspended for 3 days. The coach of this my high school team was my wood shop teacher. And I remember when I returned from suspension, in front of the whole class, he's like, Batstone, you ever run across my football field again, I'm going to have one of my linebackers take you out. So it was literally at that moment, my sophomore year, when all that happened, I was like, man, I need to stop being such a jackass, stop doing shit for attention and stuff like that, lashing out, so to speak, 'cause that's why you do it, And, man, I haven't thought about that in a minute, but that's a true story. I got suspended for it, and my parents were pissed.
Yeah.
They were not happy.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure that they were, son, what are you doing?
Yeah, they weren't happy.
Why are you doing this, baby Batstone?
Yeah. Yeah, I always remember it. Dad gave me, he was madder than a fucking hornet.
I mean, you were a wild child when I met you too, so.
I still carried some of that rowdiness out here, man. I brought some of it with me.
You definitely were, man. I mean, that's the thing about, friends though, is like, I'm fortunate, and I'll just say it like that. I'm fortunate to have the friends that I've had and, close friends, all the people that have been with me through it all. And a lot of people out there, like, I just don't understand what it would be like to have that life. And I try to empathize and put myself in somebody's shoes like that, where you're, maybe you move to a new state, or like you're just, you don't have anybody there that, you can, and you're trying to make friends, but you're an adult. Like, I've never been in that position. So thinking about that, like, I give a lot of like courage to people like that, because, when you're truly like, you don't have somebody to banter with, or like, oh dude, this thing happened today at work that really frustrated me. And where do you vent that to? So much love to all the people out there that might be struggling with that. And I believe that you'll be able to make some connections soon, for sure. You just gotta put your neck out there. You gotta make yourself uncomfortable to see changes in life, no matter what position you're in.
That's true, man. And now more than ever too, with going through this pandemic where everybody's isolated, heavy isolation, minimal social contact for people that was already a struggle with before. That made it even more difficult. I mean, I got a good buddy of mine that was like, man, I don't. He's not one of those guys that likes to do dating sites, and he's like, well, who's going to date during the pandemic? So it was just adding fuel to the fire, and that's where social media can be difficult, because you get that false sense of. I know we beat on social media all the time, but it's just so relevant in our day and age now. And
everybody's on social media every single day, so it's always relevant.
It is always relevant because the impact of it changes day to day. positive and negative, right? Breaking stories, we get all this information. But when people are down and they get this false sense of, it's amazing, the psychology behind. And I still don't think we know what this looks like yet. But like a simple emoji, like someone just sends you a thumbs up, a smiley face, a heart, whatever the case may be, the way that the mind reacts to that could be completely polar opposite of what it was intended to be. You know, it's incredible.
And I mean, I have a personal experience that I'll tread on lightly here, but someone that's very close to me recently got negative reviews in a work review thing. And it was based upon an email that was taken personally by the management. So basically, an email was sent about best practice, and then management took it personally and then negatively affected the review of performance. And it's just ridiculous to me when you're going to grade people on your emotional feelings about them and not based on their actual performance. You know, because anyone can feel anything about anybody, but what are the actual results? And when you're talking business, a lot of the feelings got to go out the door. This is the professional way to do it, so that's how it's done. Sorry I didn't use an explanation point and I used a period instead, and you're taking things personally. I don't know. I feel like there's so much sensitivity out there, and that does tie into social media as well, because there's so many different ways to take text and writing. Because when you're actually sitting here like you and I, and I'm seeing you stroke your beard, you're thinking you're seeing me and how my body's moving, and that's where you can actually get an idea of things. And I don't know, man. People taking things out of context, stop being big babies.
It's very easy to do, and it's something that it has evolved, in due time, because especially with text messaging, I think that's where I really personally saw it for the first time, because a text can be read so many different ways, right? You have to read it like it's the Google voice, that auto tone or the monotone, just computer voice.
Yeah. That's
the best way to interpret a text, because if you put an emotion behind it, you're creating that emotion, whether it's intended to be that or not. You got to read it for what it is.
And that's the natural instinct, though.
That is the natural instinct. And that strokes that natural instinct. It pokes that beast of that natural instinct of, it lets the mind basically already, assume what the context of this is, when maybe that's not what it was. Some people are a little bit more direct, decisive, to the point, which I can respect. This is boom, boom, boom.
Are you one of those people that's direct, decisive, and to the point, Kevin?
I don't know, Arthur. Do you think I am?
I'm not too sure. I haven't quite seen that attribute, so I'd like to see that more.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. This guy's going to sit here and tell me I'm not direct, decisive, to the point, when I'll flat out point at you and say, listen here, motherfucker. I don't agree with that.
Oh, man.
You wild man.
I'm an easy target. You can easily pick on me. There's plenty areas of avenue. I stumble, fumble over my words constantly. So
do I.
I have, at least I know the Swiss are from Switzerland.
Well, at least I know what state Lake Tahoe's in, and that lime is a fruit.
Okay, so you got a couple there. Well, the listeners won't really know about this, but Elevator Champ.
You gonna do that?
I'm doing that.
Fine. It's a solo. You guys, what happens on solos. You get behind-the-scenes access.
So, Elevator Champ, all right. I'm going to take this moment to be a little cocky here because it's fun. But, so we had this little game. When we're going downstairs, exiting the studio, there's 3 elevators. And so you had a 1 in 3 chance to guess it right. And so we made a game out of that. And Kevin was off to a strong start. He had me 3-0. I was just not doing it. And then all of a sudden, I realized which elevator frequented the most.
And it was the right.
It was the right. I won it on the right.
And that circles back to those little moments in life. We make a good time while we're here. We made a game out of it. Arthur and I are extremely competitive. Overall, though, I still think I have your number on most competitions.
I don't know. There was that one day where I had 7 different things. And
yeah, I didn't have a good day last week.
So I basically just it's an even keel now.
All right, fine.
You know,
That's fair. And you're right. You did win the elevator challenge. I was pretty bummed about it, to be honest with you guys, because I'm competitive. I don't like to lose. But here's the thing: is that, like Art said, he had the strategy figured out. The right elevator hit 67% of the time.
yeah. And then I would always guess before you.
And that was it. So I always
Yeah.
was then left like,
Yeah,
okay,
so I
the
always-
next elevator
yeah.
hit the most was the center. So I would usually
So
take
you'd
the
have to
center.
get the center.
And then I would take the center. We'd both be running. It'd be left.
I know. Yeah, it was a fun game, and it lasted since we moved in, and it ended last week. Or was it the week before?
That was last week.
Yeah, it was last week. Yeah, and it's really about all the little moments because you got to enjoy stuff. And man, you know, I'll just do this on air, man. What a great venture with a great friend, great business partner. You know, you and I generally get along. We do have some moments where we butt heads a little bit, but
That's life.
I feel like we've always respected each other through the disagreements.
That's it, man. I always say it all the time. It comes down to respect because, again, we can have all the disagreements in the world, and that defines a friendship, that defines a partnership, that defines respect. If you can disagree with somebody and challenge somebody, and they can look at you and say, yeah, I disagree with that, or I'm going to learn from that, or I agree with you, or whatever, that is the respect portion of it. And that's something I think as a whole that we've gotten away from. People are so quick to be like, this person doesn't agree with me. They're not hearing my side of it. I'm not interested in that. And that is closing that box of not challenging yourself enough. Mm-hmm. Because it's important to surround yourself with people that you don't agree with. You know, that's what makes it work. That's what makes a partnership work, a friendship work, whatever the case may be. If everybody agreed all the time, it'd be terrible. It'd be boring. It'd be stagnant.
I gotta say, you know, I was talking about how I feel fortunate earlier for the friends that I've had and always having somebody to lean on. You know, because we got a nice close circle that I consider family, and man, but that circle of people, like everybody is vastly different in their own unique way, and that speaks to humanity though, because everybody is unique and we're all a little quirky and weird. Let's not get it twisted. Like, I know I'm a strange one. Like, my girl, what she has to put up with in the household, like, I know that a lot of people out there wouldn't be able to maintain in that. You know, so everybody has their own quirks. It's just like what quirks work for you, sort of thing. We're all strange. Everybody in my friend group, uniquely different, but we've all challenged each other.
And that's what it is, man. And it's tough to find. A lot of people may never find that, you know, or maybe they have found it, but they didn't realize that they found it. That's the thing too, is evaluating and appreciating your current friendships. And that's a good piece of advice, I think, is for people to look around and really evaluate who's been there for you, who's picked up the phone when you call.
Maybe reach out to them.
Reach out to them.
You know, because it takes work on both ends. You know, I had a friend that I knew since I was 2 years old. And man, I knew this kid the whole way growing up until you know, my teen years, and in my teens, like it felt like that's where we grew apart. I was in the suburbs now, he was in the city. You know, we both have our different friends that we kind of grew up with outside of, you know, I was 8 when I moved. So it was, you know, 8 and younger when we were tied to the hip. And we tried to keep it together, but I kept calling and I would reach out. And I wasn't getting reciprocation. And so eventually I was just like, you know, the dude doesn't want to talk to me, man. So, you know, that's moving on. And that's the thing, though, is like it takes work on both ends. So if people are reaching out to you and they care about you, you don't normally find that, like people with great intentions for you. Like it's usually there's some other intention.
That's a good point.
So recognize that maybe, you know, and maybe that person's meant to be in your life for a reason, like to challenge you in different ways. Like Kevin was just talking about, like, you don't want to just be with a bunch of people of the same mindset, you know, because then you're just surrounding yourself with, you know, simplicity. It's easy to talk with these people because we agree on everything. No, challenge yourself.
Challenge yourself.
You know, if you have that person that's reaching out, but like maybe they make you a little uncomfortable, like as a friend, I'm not talking about like, you know, trying to hook up with people or anything like that, but you know, maybe just try to talk to them a little bit more and get to know them because they may open up your mind in different ways. And you know what? You're probably going to open up their mind.
That's what it is, man. You know, life is about experiences and having different people coming in and out of our lives teach us different things, experience different things.
Yeah.
I feel really fortunate to be able to have done that throughout my life, and I've always valued those friendships. You know, the people that have had some sort of volume or weight in my life, I always do my best to make sure I reach out to them. You know, I had a good conversation with one of my best friends, you know, going all the way back to my childhood. You know, he listens to this podcast. Shout out Josh. Man, him and I talked for 3-4 hours.
Yeah, I've heard about Josh.
You
even
met
before.
Josh.
Yeah, I have met Josh. I don't know why I forget meeting people sometimes.
We did the Wendy's or the Burger King McDonald's challenge together.
Yes,
all three of us.
Yeah, we did Burger King, McDonald's, and Wendy's. Tasted all.
We did the 3-hitter challenge.
BK1.
BK1 based on everything, the service, there was a whole lot of. It wasn't just the food. There was every fact that went into it.
That was fun.
But the fact remains, my boy Josh.
Yeah, that was fun.
You know, here's a guy that you know, growing up kept things pretty tight to the vest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, pretty quiet guy. But it was always such a great friend, you know. I was kind of always the bad influencer, so to speak. I was like, hey, I got this idea. He's like, yeah, that sounds cool, or well, you know, we'll do that, and you know, then him and I got into cars together and stuff like that. But that's a long-term friendship, man. Him and I go back to kindergarten, and
that is cool.
You know, to be able to pick up the phone and just say, hey, man, how are you? You know, what's going on? It's great. It's a great feeling to be able to have that 30 years later.
So you got the circle that I helped introduce you to. And then you also got your kindergarten friend. I lost my kindergarten friend. So Kevin has a rarer. He's a more unique. There's something different about his breed. This man roots down deep and keeps a connection.
It's important to me, man. I know everyone's tired of seeing it, but Beyond Blood speaks mad.
You've been doing this every single week.
Well, it was the Cowboy boot.
You've been doing it for weeks. You want to put them up again?
No, I won't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do it, but I won't.
Hit camera on, put the boot up.
All right. So my parents actually, shout out mom and dad, they got me, my birthday was a couple weeks ago, they got me a gift card to the boot barn.
Yeah, he's excited about that.
Well, I haven't used it yet.
But he is excited about breaking in some new boots.
The thing about breaking in new boots, man, I'll tell you this, is you get really bad sores on the inside of your legs.
Okay.
Because they come up real high.
Like up on your shin area.
So boot socks are a good option, but breaking in cowboy boots, because so many people, especially in my business, the grocery business, like, how the hell do you wear those?
Yeah.
I know we've said this a few times, but doing a lot of miles in these things, man, will wreck your legs when you're breaking in cowboy boots. So I would recommend if you want to wear them, you need to get like knee highs.
Is that what you wear?
I don't wear them. No, I need to when you're breaking them in though, because you will get gnarly blisters.
You got a pair for breaking them in?
Yeah, I got boot socks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, mom and dad got me a card for my birthday, and I'm gonna go get me some new boots here real soon.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
I mean, the little things.
That's what it is, man.
You know, make life about the little things. Sometimes I want to I need to get back into probably writing. You know, writing is fun for me because freestyling is so fun for me. Like with lyrics and putting words together and wordplay, there's something about just structure to your influence. Because I look at a sentence like influence. Because you could say one thing 1,000 different ways. So if you could be the master of that and say it in a way that is influential in a positive manner, then you're capturing something different with your dialect. And, man, that gives me I'm feeling Randy. I'm feeling jovial just talking about it, you know, just putting words together in a positive manner that is punctual. And, man, I don't know.
It carries a lot of weight for sure.
I love it, man. The dialect, the banter, the back and forth, the freestyle, like this pod.
The freestyle stuff's great, man. And that's going to give us a great opportunity for me to go ahead and plug the Patreon freestyle files.
Yes.
Those did just drop last week. Some of you that follow us on Instagram, we saw a little preview of that. The freestyle files are on Patreon. You can go over there, sign up on Patreon, see all the behind-the-scenes bonus stuff, Arthur and I goofing off. Basically, it's like a solo on Patreon. You get to see,
I mean, we're still buttoned up a little bit.
We're buttoned up a little bit.
Just a little bit right now.
Just a little bit, because this is the mainstream app. But go over to Patreon if you guys want to get wild. See the freestyle files. See all the stuff over there. Unlock all that content. Patreon.com/DCPC.
Yeah, super easy. We got T-shirts. We got apparel. You know, this isn't a plugging thing. People know they can find our stuff, man.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. They know where to go.
I mean, we don't normally do all that. And you see a lot of professional YouTube channels. I have grown up watching YouTube to a certain extent. Obviously, it wasn't around when I was very young. But YouTube's been around for a minute, and you see like, and you can pick up on like, okay, that was a good ad read on there, or this guy knows what he's doing, and it's kind of interesting, the whole selling thing, because I feel like if someone's actually interested and they like, oh, does DCPC sell clothes? Then they're gonna search it themselves, and they'll be able to find that.
That's kind of always been my take with it too, because the whole pushing the like, subscribe, we've done that here and there, of course, but I feel like that if it's genuine enough that you enjoy what we do, if you're tuning in now, it's your first time listening to this episode, then if you want to hit the subscribe button, that's what you're going to do. We don't have to tell you to do that. It is an effective technique. Obviously, we see it a lot where people will drop down the icon, hit that. I get all that. But I think the organic.
Yeah. We're about that slow grow nature.
Yeah.
And, this is a thing. People pay for bot subscribers. People actually do this. They pay for bot subscribers, and then you have to also pay for the likes and the comments. So you could like buy all these bot subscribers. Oh my God, this person has 10,000 subscribers. That's so amazing. But then when they drop videos, it doesn't reflect at all. So then they have to buy these other bots. That's one way to live. You can live that way if you want. You might be able to make a lot of money real quick doing it that way. And that's all fine and good. But here at DCPC, we're about that slow grow. We're about that organic convo. We're about that real deal.
Well,
I know you got stuff to say there.
It just kind of always comes back to, when I think about, and we get on our soapbox here sometimes, and I wouldn't want to make this whole episode about that, but going back to episode 1 when we started this project, not knowing what it was, where it was going to go, what it even was, not understanding podcasting and putting it out there. And just having fun with it, man, and just taking it back to that's what it was. So I think it really also ties into what is the mission and the goal here. And I think that's one thing that John Ekstrom does a good job with over at John of All Trades.
Check it out.
By the way, he has a word of the week that I'm going to get to when I close this point. We're going to get to that because John X, man, we love him, and he taught us that early on. Because when we stepped in this game, Paul Crowley was supposed to be here tonight, and he will be next month.
He introduced us to John.
And we're going to talk about that because Paul Crowley will be in studio. He did offer to do a Zoom. We said, man, you're in Denver, come in the studio.
Yeah, it's just
better.
Yeah,
it's just better. He's going to have a couple beers with us. Paul's a good guy. I can't wait to talk to him. But to circle all that back, so DCPC started out, man, we didn't know what the hell we were doing. We stepped into the scene. We started reaching out. We reached out to Paul Crowley from House of Pod when he was with House of Pod at the time. Got us in touch with John X. And it's just amazing when you start, reaching out and connecting with others, the possibilities that can bring, for what the mission is. And that's when the mission statement started to develop. It took time as we continued to grow and we had different experiences and we met different people. It started to take shape a little bit, and you've said it on this cast a few times that we're the vessels of a program that gives people a platform to be heard, to have a good time, to have some fun. Who knows down the road, some people might look at this and take things out of context, but the fact remains that it's real. And that's always something I want to maintain is just the real factor of us drinking beer, having fun, and not being fake, so to speak.
Yeah.
So the bot stuff, it's out there.
With that?
It's out there, and that's fine, right? That's whatever you want to do. That's you.
I mean, we even kind of considered. We talked about that, because we're aware of this stuff, and so. What kind of business partners would we be if we didn't talk about any and all possibilities, any and all different approaches? Like that's one area where we've had a lot of strength though is we've always respected each other's opinion as far as what direction we want to take this, how do we want to reply to that, like where are we moving it next, and we've always come to meet in the middle, and I feel like with that energy. It wouldn't be possible if either of us were trying to do this on our own. We could both do our own podcasts and stuff, but it wouldn't be what it is, And it always takes a team, No matter how confident you are, no matter how much work you're capable of doing, you're only one person. We can only do so much. It takes a team.
That's true, man. That's what it is. Teamwork makes the dream work, so to speak, and I believe in that. There's no I in team, all that kind of stuff. And this is it's just a great thing to be a part of. I'm thankful for podcasting. I feel like when I was first introduced to it, I didn't really understand it. seeing what Rogan did and the way he built the industry to what it is now, it's incredible, right? I mean, you're seeing a side of people that we're not used to seeing. We're used to seeing the fakeness, the scripted interviews, the pre-planned, all this, this, that, and the other. I know I've beaten a dead horse for people that have listened to the show long enough, but that's what is great about podcasting. And that's one thing that I will always appreciate is that real aspect. And that's why we try to do the minimal edits. And you see us goofing off and having a good time because we want to include you in this good time. If you're sitting at home, crack a beer with us.
Yeah, drink a beer with us.
Yeah.
We're having a good time. Word of the week is brought to you by John out of Denver, Colorado. Thank you, John.
John Ekstrom, a man, the myth, the legend. You've seen him on our program 3 times. We've been on his twice. Good guy, man. He sent us a word today, actually, shortly before we went on the air.
Well, no,
you want to tell the context?
Well, he didn't send this word to use as the word of the week.
We decided to use it.
Yeah, so what was happening is I was talking shit to him because I'm an Ebenezer teaser, like I've said, and I was calling him a jabroni after complimenting him on being somebody to look up to in this industry, because John, we have looked up to him. So I called him a jabroni, and in turn, he called me a Jamock.
Yeah, he and I kind of felt that was going to build because John, John's a classy writer. He's a professional writer, so he interpreted that.
Mm-hmm.
That fun poking around he did. He came at you with Jamock. So this is an interesting word, and I didn't know what the hell it meant either. Never know.
He actually hit me harder than I hit him with jabroni. If you search jabroni versus Jamock, is that how it said? Jamock?
Jamock. Jamoke.
Okay, Jamock. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is the word of the week, and basically it is a slang term. So I don't know if it's going to be recognized as a proper noun adjective, but I think this would be. What would this be? A person? I mean, would it be an adjective as a describing word? I don't know. John will probably straighten it out. But basically, the definition is an ordinary, unimpressive, or inept person, typically used in a term of a mild or joking disparagement for a man. So
he got me good on that one,
John. You know. That's the word of the week just because it's fun.
I'll give credit where credit is due. This man is a writer. He has, every single time he's come on this podcast, he's said at least 1 or 2 words that I'm like, I don't know if I've ever heard that word, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's correct.
Yes, and that's why I love hanging out with John, man, because he always challenges me a little bit and teaches me things, and we love John. And it's fun to kind of poke around, too. I love that we've created like a little bit of banter in the Denver podcasting scene. And John's a good guy to do it with for sure. We're going to do the sandwich battle. We haven't forgotten about the sandwich battle, guys. Justin Finesilver was back on episode 94, the Sandwich Man. We're taking on John X in the sandwich battle.
We're going to take him on.
And it's coming.
If you go ahead and travel back in time a smidget, then you can check out Hell's Kitchen winner.
Episode 99.
99, that episode.
And speaking of that,
juicy info. We got a couple other people from Hell's Kitchen coming in.
Yeah, that opened up some doors, and we decided, hey, let's have these folks on. So next week we got Cody joining us.
Yes.
Cody was on season 19 of Hell's Kitchen. I can't remember where he ranked, like maybe 3rd or 4th on that season. But he's doing some cool stuff created by Cody on YouTube. I know he's going through some issues with his dad right now, so hopefully we'll still hold strong for him being via Zoom next week. So Cody is on the schedule for next week, followed by Mary Lou, also from season 19 of Hell's Kitchen. We kind of just lumped all these guys together because they're doing some cool stuff. The season might be over, but they're still doing fun stuff. And creativity is always fun to rub shoulders with. So
it for sure is.
Yeah.
And, you just got to keep it moving. And we like to have good conversations with everybody. Of course, if you're interested in joining the conversation, you can reach us at discussioncombustion@gmail.com, the Instagram, all the Facebooks. We receive all that. Kevin, we normally ask the guests this, but I wanted to ask you, if you had a piece of advice to give to humanity based upon how your week is going and everything, what are you going to tell humanity to help them be better tomorrow?
Keep it real, man. You got to stay true to yourself. You got to own the feelings that you believe. If you're feeling a little bit insecure about a situation, don't be afraid to share that information. Don't hold it in. Don't keep it to yourself because that's going to cause more harm down the road. Be real. Put it out there. Reach out to somebody, your family, your friends. Somebody's going to be there to listen. If you're struggling, if you're going through a hard time, reach out. Because when I'm struggling and having a hard time, I reach out to the people closest to me, and it changes my entire day. And that's powerful. It's very powerful to have people that care about you and love you. So keep that true to yourself.
Absolutely. Great point. What I'll add on that is, if you're on the receiving end, maybe try to be receptive. If someone's reaching out, and sometimes it's hard to hear about problems, hear about other people's days, the problems of life. Sometimes it's hard to be that burden, that psychiatrist. Technically you're listening, right? Like you're hearing it. But if someone confides in you, there's a strong energy to being receptive to hearing about the woes. If you can be receptive about other people's woes, and people respect you to share that information with you, then you have a powerful energy, and you only got one life. And if you can help others, then I would highly suggest working through that, even if it might be tough to have that conversation sometimes.
Solid advice, man.
Yeah.
Definitely on the flip side of it, because as I say, to reach out to people, the people you reach out to also have to have, that kind of accepting, critical, loving, accepting piece that we always push here on DCPC, to be able to listen. And that does go a long way. And I try to do that on a day-to-day basis. When people reach out and say, hey, I want to talk to you, listen. Because you could change someone's day doing that. You need someone to listen to you. Well, everyone needs you to listen to them.
Yeah.
And that's important. It does go a long way. And it can get annoying at times. I get it. We get overwhelmed. But it really could change someone's day. It really could. So I think that's the advice for humanity tonight, man.
That's definitely a powerful note to end it on. Believe and achieve that, what we just discussed. Either have the courage to believe in reaching out to somebody to express it, or have the courage to be patient and empathetic to listen and achieve that. So that's a great way to wrap it up, man. What a great solo. We always have fun doing these. Back to the roots of how DCPC.
It always feels weird doing these.
I mean,
it's a little weird.
We used to do them more frequent.
Yeah.
But either way, it's all fun. I caught a little buzz tonight. We're going to keep having fun. We got work to do here in the studio. We got work to do to close out the week. You already know you have control of your week. Control your thoughts. Control your own destiny. It's time to get it. Let's not procrastinate. I'm guilty of it, and I hate myself when I do that. So push through your procrastination. Like I was saying earlier, fight yourself. Fight the battle with yourself.
That's it. It's a conscious decision. When you wake up, are you ready to go to war? Are you ready to fight for what you believe in and what you want to take a stand on? That's a conscious decision you got to make, and that's an Arthur Rawe quote. I'm not going to take that for myself. But what I am going to tell you is this. I appreciate every single viewer and listener that tunes into this podcast every week. Yeah. It means so much to me. You guys are the reason that we continue to do this week after week. We're not going anywhere. Absolutely not. Great content coming your way. Follow us on all social media platforms. Please interact with us. We will never, ever be too good or have too much time to interact with you. So that's just my personal message this week.
Yeah. So be good to yourselves. You deserve it.
You do deserve it.